wouldn't be nothing.
For the African-American population, when Jackie Robinson breaks Major League Baseball's color barrier, it carried the same level of euphoria that we saw as a nation when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. And of course, Buzz Aldrin also walked on the moon, and Buzz is the forgotten man. Larry Doby would sign with Cleveland literally just weeks after Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Larry Doby is the forgotten man. Larry Doby went through just as much. Some may even argue even more than Jackie because he was playing in the American League. And the American League wasn't nearly as liberal as the National League. When he walked into the locker room with Cleveland, no one would shake his hand. When he stepped out on the field, no one wanted to warm up with him. Larry Doby was 23 years old, thrown into a powder keg of racism. Yet Larry Doby had the exact same pedigree that made Jackie the right one to be the first. College educated, had served in the Navy during World War II, was an outstanding baseball player for the Negro League's Newark Eagles. And it didn't take long. Larry Doby never played a day in the minor leagues. He went straight from the Newark Eagles over to Cleveland. And in 1948, he and the old man, Satchel Paige, helped Cleveland win the World Series.
The Cleveland Indians triumph over the Boston Braves, and the 1948 World Series is all over.
I keep on falling in love. Oh yeah. Keeps on falling in love. I keep on falling in love. Oh baby.
One down. Larry Doby digging in now.
Boog, when Larry Doby played football for Eastside High School in New Jersey, they had a game against Montclair High. You know who was on that Montclair team? The other second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin. Whoa.
There's a swing and a drive. And that one hops the wall. Safely into second. He's got a double.
In 1946, the great Larry Doby had a tremendous season. He helped Newark win the Negro Leagues World Series. And during that season, he only hit .341, was named to the East-West All-Star Game, and finished one home run behind league leaders Josh Gibson and Johnny Davis.
Want to say it again, yeah, we make them want to say it again. Beats from Mr. Dalton, fresh jeans.
Larry Doby steps in with a runner on and nobody out. Ground ball could be two. And that one handled over to second for one. And that's two.
Larry Doby thought he'd be playing shortstop for Newark, but Hall of Fame player and manager Willie Wells had that position already, and he suggested to Larry that he was a more natural outfielder. He didn't argue with the guy whose nickname was Devil.
Newman makes the catch, and that is that. The pitch. Breaking ball inside. ball one.
During World War II, Doby played for the Great Lakes Naval Station's black baseball team, and he hit .348. They also had basketball and football teams, but only the football team was integrated. Hall of Famer Marion Motley was the star.
Swings through that. Chris, that lack of integration at the naval station you mentioned, it really bothered Doby. He said it was the first time that segregation really stung him, seeing it in the military. That stuck with him for the rest of his life. Drilled to right, way back there, and that is gone. Now at the plate, Larry Doby. In the air to left center. That one gets down for a hit.
I got on this beat, it made out a bucket list. In these bars, I granted his death wish. Legendary layup, Jordan with the right left switch. Hang time, hang glide, stir fry. Shanghai candy rain, drizzle frame. I ride 87 Corvette, CR1, took the T-top sofa, put them in the...
Larry Doby steps in to take on Satchel.
You know, Boog, Larry Doby thought of that 1946 Eagles team as one of the best he ever played on. Didn't hurt that he was teammates with three future Hall of Famers, Willie Wells, Leon Day, and Monty Irvin.
The 1-0. Lays out, but he can't squeeze it. Safe at first as they can't make the play. Towards right center field. Brings it in for the third out. Here comes a pitch. Ground ball right side. O'Neal steps on the bag. So Satchel wins this matchup with Doby. That one ripped. Gone. Doby takes Satchel deep.
Plastic on the floor, but it ain't for me. I'ma go to the place that I'd rather be. You could keep trying to explain to me things you could say to me.
Like a lot of players from the Negro Leagues, Larry Doby was an outstanding multi-sport athlete. He'd been a star basketball player at Long Island University, where he played under the assumed name of Larry Walker to protect his amateur status while he was playing for the Newark Eagles. Larry Doby would go on to become the first black to play in the American Basketball League, which would become the precursor to the National Basketball Association.
Keep your eyes on me, apply that. Get it, don't be timid when.
One down. Larry Doby digging in now. Line drive, base hit, and they strike first as they take a 1-0 lead. The throw is wild and it gets away, and he'll pull into second safely.
I'ma keep this feeling close to me, but I think I lost.
A young Larry Doby would recall his first game in the Negro Leagues against the Homestead Grays. Who was the catcher? The great Josh Gibson. Larry Doby gets into the batter's box, Gibson looks up at him and says, son, we're going to see how you handle a fastball. Larry Doby singled. Next time up, Gibson says, son, we're going to see how you handle a curveball. Larry Doby singled again. The next time up, Josh Gibson says, we going to see how you react when you get knocked down. They knocked him down. He gets up. He pops up. The next time up, they knock him down. But this time, he singles again. Your life was tough in the Negro Leagues. They were never afraid to knock you down. But Larry Doby was never afraid to get back up.
I've been on my door since a youngin'. You should know that. You should know, you should know. I've been on my door since a youngin'. You should know that. You should know, you should know. I've been on my door since a youngin'. You should know that. You should know, you should know.
Now the number 2 hitter, Larry Doby. And the 1-0. High fly ball, right field. This could go the distance. Home run.
Larry Doby took a lot of pride in breaking barriers. He said he hit better in Washington and St. Louis because that's where the parks had segregated seating, so he could tell where the black fans were cheering him on from.
Line drive, and that's base hit out of the center field. Fires it to the plate. Not in time. He scores. It's 3-1.
If you want an indication of why Larry Doby was the second man to walk on the moon, well, when he gets called up in 1947, he was only hitting .414. Over a decade-long major league career, 9-time All-Star, the first African-American to lead either league in home runs in 1952. He also led the league in runs scored that season. He would go on to become the second African-American to manage in Major League Baseball, only behind the great Frank Robinson. He would become the first to win both a Negro Leagues World Series and a Major League World Series, on his way into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
An historic moment as Larry Doby digs in for his Cleveland debut. Swings and lines a base hit into left field. The runner from third comes across as they get one back. It's 5.
Drop down there and pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. They came way up now. Got 6 like touchdown. Get hit like diamonds, bust down. Diamonds, bust down. I bust down, I bust down. Caught stealing my stuff now. I can see me in a lot of these.
The legendary Jim Mudcat Grant, the first African-American pitcher to win 20 games in the American League. He was a roommate of Larry Doby when he was with Cleveland. And Mudcat was in awe of Larry Doby. And so as Mudcat would tell the story, he got to the hotel room before Larry Doby does, where he hears the key in the door, and there he is. And as Mudcat would describe, Larry Doby to him looked like a giant. He says to Mudcat, "You must be Mudcat." Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Which bed would you like?" Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Do you like to watch TV?" He says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Larry Doby finally said, "Look, you got to stop with all this, yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." the admiration, the respect that was held for this pioneering baseball player and what he meant to this sport was outstanding.
Way, pick it up, way.
The star center fielder Larry Doby digging in for Cleveland now. That one is absolutely belted. Snyder going back. And it's off the Green Monster. Kennedy coming home. He scores, and it's 1-0. Rudder takes off. Pitches high. Safe at second with a stolen base. Swings and blasts one deep to left center. In one hops off the wall. Should be extra bases. Run comes in from second, and they take a 2-run lead.
Slow. Wow. Got me like a friend. What confuses me though is kisses when we breathe. Now you caught my heart for the evening. Kiss my cheek, moved in. You confuse things. Should I just sit out?
Larry Doby was Cleveland's top hitter and performed excellently on defense.
In a trailblazing career, Larry Doby is still the forgotten man. As I remind our guest here at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Larry Doby too suffered tremendous indignities as he integrated with Cleveland in 1947. Again, just weeks after Jackie Robinson would break the color barrier.
Jackie Robinson leads off for Brooklyn.
Oh, it was challenging, but Larry Doby endured. And Larry Doby rose above the adversity. But I guess when I stop to think about it, Larry Doby had been very much prepared to rise above the adversity. After all, that's what the players in the Negro Leagues had done from the start. Larry Doby carried that spirit with him.
This is a great moment. All the struggles that I've gone through and other players of Afro-Americans, this is a reward for all of us.
It's never easy to be the first, but Larry Doby blazed a tremendous path that eventually led him into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It is still hard to believe that it took until 1998 that Larry Doby would cross the threshold to become one amongst the immortals of this game. But I guess better late than never for this amazing pioneer and this amazing human being.
This is it, what? Lucini pouring from the sky, let's get rich, what? The G keep sugar dime.